Hello. So today we're going to be looking at how I make my spec eye in Maya, my spec eye rig. So let's look at it real quick. As you can see, the rig, the bone moves the spec around the eye, and our eye moves independent of that spec. And they both follow the head bone. So fantastic. That's what we're going to learn how to make today. Super easy. Alright, so we have a clean rig open. Let's go ahead and add our spec. So make sure you're under modeling and poly modeling. Gonna go ahead and grab a spec right here. And for me, I'm gonna add a new material for it. Let's go ahead and assign this one. Use a AI standard surface, and that way you can apply emission later on, because for certain scenes you're going to want to have emission on, because this is not, obviously this spec is not a realistic spec. It is for stylistic purposes. So let's go ahead and put this into place. Go ahead and scale it down to whatever size you want. And I'm going to go ahead and add some more subdivision for our shrink wrap modifier. There we go. And let's go ahead and line this up with our eye. And that is looking pretty good. And I like to make it where it just touches this eye, because otherwise you can have some trouble with the shrink wrap modifier later on. Okay, once you have it placed pretty much right in the center of your eye bone, come up to edit and go ahead and delete that history and freeze transforms. So you can see they're zeroed out. We have to do that every time we move something in Maya. Now grab your eyeball, grab your spec, and with, where are you rigging? Come up to geometry. I'm gonna go ahead and add that. And with it still selected, constrain and normal. Now we're going to reset these values. We're going to go 0, 0, and 1. If this does not work for you, you can try 1, 0, 0 or 0, 1, 0. This is just telling it which side it's facing, basically. Now, if we go ahead and grab our spec, you can see it is traveling along the outside. If you have a clear eyeball, you can actually just stop here and this will work just fine. My eyeball is not clear and you can see it coming through. So for that, we're going to add a shrink wrap modifier. So grab your spec, grab your eye, come up here to deform, and go ahead and shrink wrap. I'm going to use an offset of 0.0117 because I already know my value, but you can go ahead and try a different value. You're going to want to add a value that puts it just above the eye so you don't have any clipping when you rotate around the surface of your eye. But this is relative to the size of your model, so obviously your number might be different than mine. And now look, our spec is working perfect. So now we're going to go ahead and add a bone. So just a single bone. Gonna drag it right up here. And what I'm gonna do is go ahead with your bone still selected, grab your eye, grab your spec, control 1, and it's just gonna grab everything. And I'm gonna go ahead and put my eye in place. If you want, you can use orthographic mode to get this perfect. I'm not getting this perfect because this is just a tutorial. I've already have my rig, but you might want to get it perfect. So this is looking pretty darn good to me, just eyeballing it, not using orthographic. So I think we're gonna call it good. So once you're done with your bone, go ahead and same thing, freeze or transform. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab edit the bone, the joint, and grab your eye, come up here to constrain once again, and we're gonna go ahead and do our point constraint. And let's reset, maintain offset, that's what you want, apply. And now let's check if it's working. So grab your spec. Oh look. And you can see we have no clipping and it's following the rotation of the bone. Now what we're going to do is going to come out, grab your bone, and go ahead and parent it to the head. And that way, whenever you move your head, it follows along and works as expected. And like I was saying before, it moves independently. So hope you guys learned something. If you want to see more of my videos, let me know. And yeah.